Hello everybody and thank you for joining me. This is Ciara from Ciara T Designs, and today I have something for you that's a little bit different. It's kind of a mixed media artist trading card. So let's jump right in. So I'm going to use the Tim Holtz collector dies. These came out in chapter 3 when he did kind of that essential set, and there was a lot of really neat dies that were like base pieces that you could create fun things with. So this is the one that has a pocket that fits an artist trading card, and this piece is actually the size of an artist trading card. So I cut both out with my switch out of some Neenah Desert Storm cardstock, and this artist trading card and envelope, I've had it in my head for a while, and I finally got it down, and I got to actually make it, but it took me a couple of days and I struggled a bit. So this is going to take a few turns in different directions, but bear with me. I think that it turned out beautiful. I love it. It's better than what I saw in my head. So I'm really excited about that, but we're gonna create this and just keep going forward. So I did reinforce the fold lines there you see with my Teflon bone folder. So you can see that this is going to create the envelope or the pocket, and then the ATC just slides into that pocket. So we're going to start with decorating the pocket. So I have the Tim Holtz, I believe it's the Leaf, I have it written down, Leaf Prints 2 stamp set, and I have 4 colors of Oxide ink here. I have Wild Honey, Festive Berries, Evergreen, Bough, and Fossilized Amber. And I kind of chose these specific colors because I was really going for a fall-esque color palette. I've been doing a lot of Christmas lately. If you guys watch my channel, you know that I'm in the 12 Weeks of Christmas series on Mondays. So I just wanted to do something very different than the Christmas stuff that I've currently been creating, and to do something that's been in my head for a while. Like, I've been able to see this in my head for a little while, and I really it was time to sit down and make it because I had a few days so I could kind of play with the idea and see kind of what came out. And now Fossilized Amber and Wild Honey are a little bit closer in color than I was kind of hoping for. That's on me. I mean, I kind of knew that. They're not far from each other in the color palette, but I kind of really wanted the fall-esque color palette. So, I mean, I could have brought in a different orange and that would have worked instead of Wild Honey, but I'm kind of partial to Wild Honey, so I did pick it. And you saw that I kind of misted the stamps with a little bit of water. This is just going to help the colors oxidize, because that's what they do, right? They oxidize when they get water, and that just gives me color variation in the stamping when I have it on my background. So you'll be able to see it better when it's dry. It's dry here, but you don't really get to see it because I'm gonna edge it with some gold. But it's I don't know. I really hope you guys will let me know what you think of this. It's different. I don't even know the right thing to call this. I think that it turned out stunning. And here my supervisor showed up. She just couldn't resist. This is Mist, one of my kittens. So she's going to sit here while I edge this piece. But I really hope you guys let me know what you think of this artist trading card and pocket or envelope, just because I think that it turned out really cool. And I think that honestly, you could use this in different ways too. Like, I know that I use these as artist trading cards. That's kind of what I call them. But if you guys have been, on my channel for a little while, you know that I'm working my way into starting a junk journaling series. And you could absolutely have this pocket stuck in your junk journal and then have this as a journaling card and write on the back, which I think would be really cool if you wanted to include it instead of sending it to somebody else or whatever, right? So I think that this could be very versatile if you didn't want to use it as, say, an artist trading card, because you could absolutely adhere this little pocket down in your journal and then just have the card slide in and out, or even alternatively have it as a piece that could like flip out. I think that would be even more creative and neat if you kind of adhered it where it could like flip off of a page, and then you could see both sides of the envelope and then have the little artist trading card or tag or whatever you want to call it, the piece that goes inside, slide out so you can journal on it. So just a few different ideas. If artist trading cards are not your thing, this is kind of a way that you could use this in a different manner. So I just have some gold acrylic ink here and I'm just splashing it on. I also edged it on all sides just because I really wanted that gold. I love gold for fall. I think that it's a stunning color and just adds something to my fall project, so I really like that. And then Mist got off the desk, so I got to move on to the actual artist trading card piece. So I did bring in those same 4 colors and I'm going to blend them onto the background. This doesn't need to be perfect. Most of it is going to be covered, so it doesn't really matter if they blend well or not. This is really just to add some really pretty color into the background so that it's not just that craft cardstock. Although, alternatively, craft cardstock is stunning. So really, if you wanted to leave it as craft, you absolutely could. So totally up to you as to what you wanted to do. But I, being a person who's very drawn to vibrant colors, really likes to lean into adding color to everything. So completely up to you and your style as to which you prefer. But I love vibrant colors, and I did go over my colors twice just to kind of try to enhance them a bit. They are going to be a bit muted on craft cardstock just because, of course, it's not white, right? So it will kind of add a bit of a different tone to the back of the color. I love it. I think oxides look stunning on craft cardstock. It's one of my favorites for oxides, but I mean, completely up to you. You could absolutely do this in white too if you didn't want to do it on craft. It's just that I work in white a lot, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to play with a different base for everything. And I did splash on some perfect pearls there. And then here I'm going to bring in the feathery dies. I used 3 of them. I'm going to cut them out. Now, they are feathers. However, in this instance, we're going to kind of use them as if they're leaves. Now, you could use the leaf set that came out last year. I love that set. But because the artist trading card is quite small, they're about 2.5 by 3.5. They're too big and they cover up too much of the background. So I chose these ones instead, just because they're tall and skinny, as feathers are generally. So that kind of just gives me more of the background peeking through, so you don't lose all of that color and interest that we've done in the background. So it's kind of my thought there. But I mean, this could be literally anything. I just chose the feathers because I thought they'd be really pretty. And then we're going to start kind of assembling everything. So this is actually the next day. And that's why you see me wearing a bracelet in this one. But I stepped away and I let everything dry, and I needed to think about what I wanted to do when it comes to the wax seal part of this. I own a couple different wax seals, and I'm going to show you this really cool set that I have that I got off Amazon, and it's linked and listed down below. Everything is every time that I do a video, but I have a couple of different wax seals because I really want to offer them in the stationery store that I want to open at some point down the road, hopefully soon-ish. But I want to offer wax seals as like a thank you in my purchases, like buy X dollars and you get this really cool wax seal kind of thing. So I've been slowly collecting them, and I chose to use a rose one for this, and honestly only because of the size of it. I have a tree one. It's beautiful, but it's small. You're going to see it because I used the excess wax to make it, but I chose the rose, which, I mean, the rose doesn't necessarily go with this, but honestly, I don't think it matters. I think that it just added something really interesting and really pretty. So here I chose to edge the one feather just because it helps it stand out against the other two. Otherwise, I find that it kind of got lost with the other 2 feathers that are there. And I really wanted it to stand out and be more obvious and noticeable in the 3 feathers. So that's kind of why I ended up adding just that touch of gold on the edge. And I did let this dry, of course, as well. And then so here's where I kind of had to think about this, because you're going to be able to see the back. So normally when I add twine or whatever, jute, whatever, to a project, I use double-sided tape in the back to hold it. But you can see the back, right? Because normally I wouldn't worry about that because I was going to adhere it down to a panel or a card base or whatever. So I wouldn't worry about you being able to see this double-sided tape in the back. But with this specific piece, you can see it. So I had to be a little more aware of where I was adhering everything. Because the same with the vellum. If you add glue, you can see the glue through the vellum. So this whole thing just became a bit of an interesting thing for me to kind of try to figure out how to get this all to adhere nicely without it being easily seen, because it was kind of like that mystery, right? So this is that wax set that I was talking about. So this is a really cool set that I got off Amazon, as I said, and it comes with all these different colors of waxes just in this little container. And then I picked out 4. 4 is more than enough. Honestly, it's just that I really wanted those colors, so that's why I picked 4. I would have been perfectly fine with 3, because I am going to have to trim off a little bit of the wax that runs off the bottom of the card. So 3 wax pieces would have been fine. I chose 4 because I wanted to add the gold in there, but Not necessary. And then there you can see the 4 colors that I chose. I chose a red, a green, a gold, and a white. And then you can see here, I just gave you the fast motion of it melting just because I think it's neat. Not because anybody necessarily wants to watch wax melt. It's just because I want to watch wax melt. I think it's interesting. So I left this little clip in so you guys can kind of enjoy the wax melting in fast time there. But yeah, so 3 wax pieces would have been perfectly fine. Again, I honestly kind of wish I had done 3 instead of 4 just because I end up having to waste a little bit of it. But it's not a huge deal. It's just a choice that I made because I wanted those colors. But I think that it turned out really neat. So here you can see they're all melted. We're going to add them on top of the twine at the bottom there and then drop our rose piece on top of it. And there was still a little bit left in the spoon. So you can see I poured it off on the mat there and I just stamped my little tree stamp in there. So here it's kind of hard to see the rose there. So we're going to doll this up a bit so it is a little more easily seen. So I did cut off the excess and then I brought in a gold marker that also came in that little set that came from Amazon. This specifically came with the wax melt so that you could add gold or silver to the pieces so that you would be able to see the image. So you're going to see it here when I hold it up at the end a little better just because it's difficult to see there that first time. But now you can see that it's obviously a rose and it's a very pretty rose. So here's where I'm going to have to cut off some of the bottom simply because it needs to fit in the envelope. So I had to trim the bottom off. And at first I kind of just trimmed it in like a bit of an oval shape so that I could have a little more interest. But this is where I decided that there's no way it was going to fit in the envelope. So I trimmed off everything that was hanging off the end there, or the edge of the bottom. And then, so now it's like flush. And then now I can actually kind of close this. It does fold over the top feather a touch, but I don't mind it. That's okay. And then here I kind of thought about maybe using that to close the envelope, but I think I'm going to save it. I think it's just super cute and I wanted to save it. And then I found these white rub-ons. These are the Create Happiness by Vicky Papineau. And I don't think I say her name right, but you guys know who I'm talking about because she's amazing. She created a line with Stamperia, and this is the white rub-ons from that. And I really wanted this pop of white in the background. So I just kind of added that and used a rub-on. This is Tim Holtz rub-on tool. And I just added that little pop of white behind the feathers kind of peeking out. And I thought it was really cool. So you'll have to let me know what you guys think of this whole project. It took a couple of turns, but I think in the end, I love how it turned out. I think that it would be a really cool gift or a really neat addition to your junk journal. Or, I mean, you could add it to a card if you wanted to, although I don't know what you do with the envelope necessarily. But I think that this turned out really cool. And I hope that you'll let me know what you think. This is the point of the channel, is that I really want to hear what you guys think. Or if you have any things that you'd really like to see or things that you'd like to see me work with, leave me a comment and let me know. I do respond to all of my comments. Sometimes it takes me a hot minute to respond, but I do always respond. So if you ever have a question or a comment or something you want me to know, please leave me a comment so that I can respond to it. So that is the project I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you're considering leaving me a like, leave me a comment, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I do new videos every Monday and Thursday. And as I said, every Monday until the 25th is going to be a Christmas card. Thank you so much, guys, and I will see you again very soon. Bye-bye for now.